Welcome to Manga Machinations! This is episode number 568, and we're doing a Twipple Dip. I'm Dakazu, and with me is Star Fox 8,
Hello, everybody.
Morgana Santilli,
Hi there.
and live from New York, it's Seamus2389!
Yet to see a rat.
Live rat.
I don't think I've ever seen a rat in New York
Everyone's
City.
like, oh, the rats in New York. They're all over the place. They're massive.
I have seen
like-
cockroaches in New York City, but I've never seen a rat.
I just seen some pigeons. I see more rats walking around Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a rat going to New York as many times as I have. Yeah, I agree with Seamus. It's pigeons are more of a problem. Those are the rats of the sky.
My best friend lives in New York, and I was visiting her in her apartment, and we saw her apartment had a cockroach problem, and they were big. They're like 2.5-inch long roaches. Darfox would have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
My friend was like, they're so big you can hear them walking across the floor.
I almost prefer that, honestly. I almost prefer, like, sometimes I wish they were big enough that I could fist fight them. Just so I could, just so I could, you know, I feel like it's a fair fight, you know.
Are roaches a problem in Florida? I feel like
They
they like humidity.
they are a problem, but we have palmetto bugs, which aren't exactly roaches, but they're like the ones that live outside, and they're
Mhm.
massive and they fly.
That sounds terrible.
So those are the traumatic ones. But like in general, yeah, I mean, like, roaches like warm places. That's why people get like roach. This is really gross, but that's why people get roach infestations in their like gaming consoles and gaming PCs.
Mm,
So it's a
Gross.
very embarrassing. It hasn't happened to me, but it's a very embarrassing thing.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Is this the voice of experience?
Yes.
Oh no. Well, I bet Hawaii has an interesting array of creepy crawlies also.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, ants like warm spaces, and it turns out your monitor is a really warm space.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We don't really have roaches around. I mean, sure, there are roaches in Massachusetts, but the thing we get a lot in houses up north are centipedes. Like house centipedes, especially in
Oh,
basements, damp places.
those are like demonic though.
They are literally, I have no problem with any bug except for centipedes. Millipedes are fine. I'm okay with those. Centipedes, I scream. My husband is like, I had never heard you scream until I had to take care of a centipede. I was like, I can't do it. They're from hell. I am convinced they are actually evil.
Yeah, like they spawn in the wrong biome. They're supposed to spawn in like in the Nether or something.
Yeah, I hate them. It's the way they move. I don't know.
It's
They're
like
fast.
the 4th time we brought up bugs on this podcast.
Listen, I like all other bugs. I actually don't have a problem with roaches, except that usually when you have them, it means there's something else going on, you know? I also don't necessarily want 2.5-inch long roaches in my house,
No.
so, you know, bugs do belong outside unless they're your pets, so.
Unless you live in Hawaii, which means you're living in a jungle, which means
Sure.
they are just in the yard and they come into your home.
Actually, to be fair, whenever I find spiders in the house, I'm okay with that. I'm just like, hey, Charlotte, do your thing.
I used to have arachnophobia when I was growing up, and no longer. I do not care about spiders.
Spiders are great.
They've been
I love spiders.
overruled. Like
There are worse things.
yeah, like spiders kind of freak me out just because big spiders with like thick legs can be like freaky looking. But I wouldn't mind if living with them if it guaranteed that like I wouldn't have other bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I thought spiders would eat centipedes, but it's actually the other way around. Centipedes
No,
eat spiders.
bro.
Yeah,
I don't
sorry.
like that.
I'm sorry. I hate telling you this because I hate it too. I love spiders. James had pet spiders almost our entire relationship until we moved here, I think, to this house. We lost the last one, but they're great. They're chill. They're cool.
A centipede killing a spider just gives me like this weird it gives me like this weird anxiety when like it's like when All Might gets defeated by like the bad guys.
Yes. We
It's
thought
like-
you were the almighty.
Yeah, it's like it's not supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be the other way. But but life is cruel, right? Like
It's
you
like
know,
a sense of betrayal.
somebody can't win forever, you know.
But yeah, bugs. Anyway, welcome to our podcast.
Welcome to Bugga Basins.
We're essentially a book club for manga. We are recording this episode live on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/mangamactv. And yeah, before I forget, let me first thank our coffee supporters. If you want to financially support this podcast, head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac, and you can buy us coffee. Be a supporter like Philip, Mugamachu, Vicky Dalton, Lulu, A. Liz, 8E8, Chris from Canada, Deluid, Mia, Wyatt, Dr. Melface, Poor Mexican 72, Liquidus 002, Extine, Jen, Neptic, Shirley Bossy Cat, and Tama Gamer. Thank you all for supporting Manga Machinations. Okay, let's see. I don't have an email. There was a follow-up in our Discord from Chris from Canada about all the edgelord recommendations Seamus gave. But I'll leave that for the Discord.
I'll
So yeah,
50 of
let's
them.
just... I think there were more than 50. But yeah, let's move along to some what you been reading next. Seamus, I know you had to travel. You're in New York right now. Did you read or watch anything you want to talk about?
He saw the Chainsaw Man movie.
What?
I had nothing better to do with my life yesterday.
Hey,
And then I realized I actually had something better to do and I forgot about it. Which would have been a better use of an hour and a half of my time and $20.
$20.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's how much a ticket for Chainsaw Man costs. It's like,
Jesus.
Well,
which I guess is just that's how much it costs to go see a movie at like if you're not
if you're not
right.
doing matinee,
yeah.
Sounds about right. You didn't like
all,
it, huh?
all I'll say is if the only good parts of it they're already up on YouTube. Just look up Rez versus Chainsaw Fights Part 1 and 2, and then don't bother with the rest of it.
Aww.
It's like an hour and a half of this is grand, but like I could just be reading the manga, and then there's like a few bits in the fight scenes where they do like kind of I don't know how you describe it. It gets kind of almost like this kind of psychedelic look, and like there's one bit with Rez and Chainsaw where they nearly like transform into kind of these like blobs. Not blobs, that's quite the right word. It's like they lose all like kind of the edges on themselves. They can actually remind you of the characters from like Son of the White Mayor. That's all at 30 seconds. You can watch that on YouTube. Because the rest of it is just like, yep, this is okay, but doesn't really need to exist beyond to make people some money.
Interesting. Interesting take.
And also way too detailed at times. It's like, why did you put so much effort into making that fire extinguisher look realistic when you could have been trying to, I don't know, figure out what you should actually be doing with this adaptation? It's like they didn't adapt Hugh to like how the manga looks well enough, nor did they just be like, ah, fuck it, we're just doing our own thing and just go off in a totally different direction. It's a bit like Zack Snyder's Watchmen that way, where you're like, this is not actually that interesting.
That
you're
movie
like,
was not great. It was not great.
but you watch
like-
the opening credits and you're like, that's kind of fun.
yeah, and then there's like the rest of it, and it's like, this is, I could just be reading Watchmen.
Or reading Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
Did you watch it
So
dubbed or
people should do
subbed?
instead
I'm
is read
curious.
Chainsaw Man. I watched it subbed, and send the money to to the coffee account so I can go to Comic Kit and maybe find the Chainsaw Man adaptation we're talking about.
That is our current coffee goal. Send Seamus the comic at $3,000.
Buy us all some Chainsaw Man BL Dojinshi for science.
I mean, I feel like Seamus could find some really interesting doujinshi on the stuff that he likes.
Like Chainsaw Man BL. I know it's fine.
There's got to be a ton of Land of the Lustrous, like, doujinshi. No, maybe not anymore, because that ended a while ago, but...
The Resident movie arc does have the origins of the Aki and Angel Devil stuff. That's when those characters really start to like bounce off each other, and that fandom like starts
they
to grow.
love that pairing. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, interesting. Different take from Seamus on the Chainsaw Man movie. Then Seamus, I think you will be disappointed to hear, but I checked out Tatsuki Fujimoto 17 through 26, which just released yesterday. No, actually, I think it's been out for a
Wait,
while.
hold on. Did we not cover this on the podcast like a couple of years ago?
No,
the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, there was an animated version of it.
Yes, an animated version is out on Amazon Prime now, Prime TV. I think the date says like October, but I don't remember seeing it back then. But I saw a bunch of stuff on social media in Japan, like it's out now. And it's like, oh, okay. They adapted
See,
all
that
8 of those
could
short
be
stories.
interesting because I didn't think that was good. So you know,
Yes.
someone adapting it might actually do something with it.
Yes, and I will say that they range from okay to pretty good. Each of the 8 stories are covered by different people, different studios, different directors, and they all do their like own little spin on those 8 short stories, those one shots that Tatsuki Fujimoto did for those 2 volume collections of his short stories.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that approach.
It's kind of like the Animatrix, Morgana.
Right, yeah.
And Darfox, you said you saw the first episode, what? Right?
Yes.
Which is a couple clucking chickens were still kicking in the schoolyard. Were still kicking in the schoolyard. I'm not gonna give big spoilers, but obviously, you can read the manga over on the Shonen Jump app if you have a subscription. And if you have Amazon Prime, then you can watch all 8 episodes of the anime. Most of them are under 20 minutes. So one of them is like only 13 minutes. So they're pretty short.
Wow.
But yeah, Dar, you saw the first episode, 19 minutes, which is about how aliens have wiped off nearly all humans. And it's a small story about 2 humans who are hiding at a school pretending to be chickens.
Yeah, and the aliens have, after they wiped out humans, they were like, human culture is kind of cool, so they're like cosplaying as human culture. So it's all these stereotypical tropes about like, I'm late for school, the tsundere schoolmate who walks you to school and stuff like that.
But they're all aliens.
They're all aliens and they're all freaky looking. Yeah. I don't remember. Like as I was watching it, I was remembering the story, and the story is like really brain dead simple. It's just like it's really kind of disposable.
Pretty much all those one-shot stories are.
Yeah, like there's not much to it, but it was really well animated, and I was curious. I expected the whole show to kind of look that way, but you made it sound like that some episodes look very different. Is that true?
That is true.
Cool. Okay, that makes me want to watch more because after watching that, I was like, it's like, A, did they have to animate this, and B, did they have to spend like so much money animating this when it's just like it's really like it's basically Tatsuki Fujimoto's amateur work, right? It's not something that special.
It's not refined like Fire Punch or Chainsaw Man, yeah.
But if they're, I mean, if they're taking it upon themselves to make it interesting, then that's great,
Yeah, I would say I thought the second episode, Sasaki Stopped the Bullet, is probably the most like just kind of okay. And for a lot of the other ones, they really elevated it. Especially, do you guys remember the mermaid one? About the kid who could breathe underwater a little longer and play the piano?
Not really.
Yeah, that one was one of the most forgettable ones, and that was like my favorite one.
Cool.
And I was surprised because like, just the medium animation, you can add the actual piano music, and it was a nice tune. And I was like, oh wow, this is actually really nice animated. But yeah, the one that is most like look back is the final episode called Sisters. If you recall, it's about 2 sisters, and the younger one paints like a nude of her older sister, and it has to be displayed in the lobby of like the school for a whole year. I guess she won the contest. It has very much look back vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I recommend it. Just know that some of them are better than others, and yeah, I think it's actually a better thing than like the manga, because we were all like, oh, some of these are interesting, little ideas in these stories, but most of them were forgettable. Some of them are downright kind of like, oof.
It just gives off like Viz cashing in on Junji Ito vibes. It's just like this is a thing right now, so we can make money off of it. Like
I mean, that's what usually these one-shot collections are. So my question is, they said they were going to animate everything that Tatsuki Fujimoto has ever done, which makes me think the next thing is Goodbye Eri. But Goodbye Eri is kind of like, I feel like that works best in the manga medium. It might be another Watchmen case where like,
well, they could cook with that one. It depends, because so much of Goodbye Eri, there was a lot of like I don't know what to call it, like false awakenings, except instead of it being a dream, it was a movie scene. Remember that they were filming movies, and sometimes you couldn't tell if it was literally happening or if they was filming a scene, and sometimes there'd be something dramatic would be happening, and then they'd pause like, was that good? Should I go again? And the movie had
Right.
a lot of that. So in an actual film medium, being animation, they could do some good stuff with that, potentially.
yeah, maybe potentially. We'll see. I mean, if they get the fire punch, that's going to be a thing. I've always said that. But yeah, in the meantime, I thought that Tatsuki Fujimoto, 17 through 26, is pretty good. It's on Amazon Prime right now. And you might want to check it out.
Yeah, it was neat, the first episode at least.
Mm-hmm. For me, the only thing else that I did this week was I reread all of Hachiwan Diver, because we're talking about whatchamacallit, Tojima wants to be a common writer. So I was like, yeah, I miss reading like this guy's manga. Let me go read all 35 volumes of Hachiwan Diver. I finished that, and then I was like, I haven't read Kingdom in a while, so I started reading that again.
Typical Dagazu activities.
Pretty much.
I haven't read this sprawling work that's been serialized for like 30 years in a while. let me go read that again from the start.
The key with like reading some of these longer series that are still ongoing is just skip everything that wasn't as interesting and just reread the good arcs. I didn't do that for Hachiwan Diver because I just hadn't read the whole thing in a while, so I just reread it. It's mostly good. But with Kingdom, I just skipped ahead. You skip the beginning of Kingdom. It's kind of boring until like he actually gets on the field of battle and starts commanding forces and like fighting in battles. That's when Kingdom gets good.
So he starts crushing all the fiefdoms.
Yep. But yeah, that's it for me. Morgana, do you have anything this week?
I do. So for movie night last night, we finally watched K-pop Demon Hunters.
Ooh.
Has anybody else seen it yet?
I've seen it.
I've seen clips.
Okay, and Seamus, don't watch it. I'm just warning you, just don't.
Well, first of all, there's 3 of them in it. K-pop groups, 3 people don't exist.
Ooh.
Where's the minimum? Unless like a load of people have it for contract disputes. But at that point, they just disband the group.
Contentious K-pop info here. Anyway, I will say so.
Maybe the only person in this group who actually listens to K-pop.
Possibly.
I would say you're correct.
I enjoy K-pop, but I'm not like a K-pop listener, and I forget sometimes that I like K-pop because I don't listen to it often. But like also, I'm not a K-pop stan. Like I'm not a, I don't have a group that I like. I don't, but I do enjoy K-pop very much, and this kind of reminded me of that. The plot is fine. There are some holes for sure. Things that my husband and I keep talking about, like, why didn't they do this, or why didn't they do that? Why didn't they go into this part? But it's so fun. It's so fun. It's like a really long anime music video, basically.
Yeah.
With beautiful people. It's the same studio that animated Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm. Got that same animation.
Yeah, so it looks great. It really does look good. And they did one of my favorite things that I have been complaining that modern films don't do, which is they spent like 5 to 8 minutes on a scene that really wasn't that important, but was just enjoyable. Dark Fox, it's when the tiger first shows up and knocks over the plant, and then keeps trying to right the plant for like
Oh, okay.
over and over. I'm like, we didn't need this. This didn't need to happen, but it's so good.
Yeah.
The movie ended, and my husband goes, "That tiger was worth the price of admission." So we very much enjoyed it. I am expecting my daughter to become obsessed because I know that it's like catnip to small children and older children and adults. My husband has a cousin with 3 daughters who range in age from 3 to 11, and all 3 of them are really into K-pop Demon Hunters. So there's kind of something for everyone, I think.
So has it succeeded in its aim to recruit like a lot of people into the K-pop industry in like 5 years' time?
I do
Yes.
wonder, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
what's fascinating to me is that it's been such a commercial success. It came out in June, I think, and there are no toys. There's like merch, there's like shirts and cups, and there's like a plush and some like pillows and things, but there aren't like dolls. There aren't like Barbie dolls of K-pop. Like what? It's almost Christmas.
Aren't they in Fortnite?
Yeah. I don't follow Fortnite news that closely, but that sounds right. But
I feel like they're
mean,
doing those kind of crossovers.
It's still not a toy though. It's a digital toy.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I don't know. I come from an era where everything commercial, they automatically had a contract for toys and video games and all the, everything you could get.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just not the case anymore. Because I'm so, a property, so I'm so unplugged from what kids buy.
I kind of am too in a way because my kids are pretty young. So like, and like the things that my kids are into so far, my daughter mostly, is, stuff that's been toys for decades, like Pokemon and Sonic, like stuff that there's always been toys of these things.
I feel like you're the kind of parent who'd buy your kids like ball and stick, or like like a wooden, like an actual like wooden toy that's like
A wooden hoop.
Yeah, like
I mean,
work.
I do really appreciate like non-branded toys, like non-licensed things. I really think there's value to like pretend play and stuff that does not have like, but I also was a kid once. I know that like the Pikachu plush is going to be loved. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And my daughter has an allowance, so she can always buy her own things if she wants them. And so she can, but like she can't buy what she wants if it doesn't exist. Like, and I was just surprised. I mean, it's not a big deal to me. It just means I won't get my kids more junk, or other people won't get my kids more junk. But I was surprised. But yeah, my daughter liked it. She watched it again today. Songs are pretty good. The first song, the opening scene, I think is actually probably the best song.
I agree. People love Golden.
Yeah.
People love Golden's a really good song. That's like
it's fine.
That's like the titular.
No, Golden's a terrible song. First 15 seconds where it's like the melody is great, and then they start singing. It's like, yeah, this is why K-pop can't exist in English.
I love that Seamus has a strong opinion about this.
Well, no, because I was just like, what the fuck is this? So I did look it up, and I was like, this music, first of all, is just not K-pop, not good K-pop, and it's in English, so it's even worse.
They do throw a little bit of like Korean.
Yeah, but it's movie music. It's not music. It's not music meant to be like, oh, we've got to like get a top 10 on like all these fucking different like platforms.
It's like a musical. It's like a Disney musical, like Beauty and the Beast, sort of. That's kind of how I think of the music. Like it has to be part of the movie. Golden apparently has been nominated for a Grammy, like as of last night, I think I saw. Which is wild to me because I think that opening song is the banger song.
It's also just kind of like it's such a great introduction to the movie because it's like, okay, these are the girls and they have 90s attitude basically, and they have these distinct personalities, and it's all shown in the song, and it's so well synced to the action. it's such a great opener. And yeah, like it's
Alright,
it's catchy.
The look of this thing is terrible. It's like it's like the Star Wars 3G thing, where it's like, why does this exist?
You mean like the actual art design, like the
Oh,
actual?
the actual look of it. Like, I think it's horrible. I think it's just so ugly.
Oh, I don't feel like it's that bad. I think it's pretty cool. Like,
Oh no, bland. That is. It's incredibly bland.
yeah, I think, yeah, I guess I could see where you might. I don't know though. I think watching it move, I feel differently about it. But
I'll say this: if you compare it to the texture that the Spider-Verse movies has, it does look just kind of plasticky and just kind of like
yes,
like they kind of do look like toys.
I mean, I do think some of the theming of the movie is a bit of a criticism of that kind of shiny veneer of K-pop. You know what I mean? That like everything's fine and beautiful all the time.
they heard K-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's crying. Hold on.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the movie looks good. It looks good in that, I mean, like there's a bunch of talented people working on it, and um, like Sony really just doesn't like or appreciate their animation stuff, because like some of the stuff I heard was that apparently they sold it off to Netflix pretty cheap, and then it just blew up.
Oh, that was dumb.
Yeah, and like just they really don't care about animation, which is kind of crazy because they've literally bought all of anime.
Right?
They own anime. Period. It's weird.
Yeah, I think they technically own a part of me at this point because
Yeah.
they have like a 30-something% stake in Kadokawa, I think, and Kadokawa has like a 51% stake in Yen. Yeah, it's weird because this has been. I mean, I saw Halloween kids in Halloween costumes, like, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really great. I did really enjoy it. There are gaps in the plot that concern me, like mild spoilers, but the main character Rumi, you find out pretty quickly that she is part demon because her father was a demon, and they never talk about that. They never talk about the fact that her father was a demon.
Yep.
Morgana
What?
sequel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I hope. I mean, I hope because I have questions. Also, another hot take is that the Saja boys look way better as demons than as hot boy band boys,
Yeah.
and those like traditional Korean outfits they were wearing in the last song are fire. Those like hats, those like, I don't know if it's traditional demon depictions or what, but they look great. I it's good stuff. But yes, the tiger and the bird, the magpie, Derpy and Sussy, they are the stars of the show, and they're barely in it, frankly.
Yeah, I should really get around to watching this movie.
It is fun. I mean, you know, prepare for lots of K-pop and some like feelings, you know.
Quote unquote K-pop.
Sure, exactly.
Some pop of the K branded.
Like, I would say the KDA. Well, I don't know. Does KDA pop stars mean anything to you?
No.
Okay, it was this thing like this. I watched this and I was like, oh, this is just like KDA Pop Stars at worst. KDA Pop Stars was like years ago, Riot behind League of Legends. They did like basically a K-pop video, but they did like League of Legends characters. I think they did a few of them afterwards.
Yeah, I
But-
remember hearing about that stuff, but I'm not aware of it, like super or knowledgeable that stuff.
I am also not super knowledgeable. I will say one thing that did bother me on the K-pop front is that they, at the very beginning, they build the character Zoe as being like a fire rapper, and she barely raps. And I was like, but I want to hear her spit. Come on, like,
Yeah,
That's like half the fun of K-pop is the random rap interlude. Like,
I'm kind of glad to hear that Seamus thinks it's like not representative of K-pop, because I don't listen to K-pop, and the music in this movie is really fun and really catchy, but it just sometimes feels like Disney Channel music.
yeah, oh
You
yeah,
know, like it's just like it's very much for kids. When they start rapping, they're like, "I'm rapping with attitude. This is me and this is my rap." So like, you know, I really I take Seamus as a word that like, you know, this is his own thing. It's kind of branded as K-pop, but I'm sure K-pop there's a bunch of different kind of bands with a bunch of different kind of sound or whatever.
it's
But
K-pop adjacent.
Not really.
not really.
Well, like it's profit-driven industry, so effectively there is like groupings, but they're more like marketing kind of teams. So like basically, like K-pop Demon Hunters are like 2NE1 or Blackpink, like in terms of like their look and all, and even like the whole attitude thing. But like 2NE1, sure, they've been gone for years. Blackpink is still around, to be fair.
I like Blackpink.
They were like, what were they called? There was a name for it years ago. Girl Crush, was that it? Yeah, and then like there's like different groups who've gone through like different approaches depending on what's popular at the time. Like if you go back like 15 years, well, 15 years ago, like they look really like everyone's in heels. If it's a K-pop girl group, they're all in heels, and like that heels have been gone for like 10 years.
They do not that this matters at all, but they do mention, so the plot is basically, for hundreds of years, a trio of hunters has been around to create the Honmun, which is like a seal on the demon world to keep the demons out of the real world. And it's always been a trio of women, and they show through the years different trios of young women in the 20s and 30s and 40s in different outfits, but it's always a trio. And so that's why there's three of them. I don't know why they chose three and not four or whatever.
They chose three because there's like the leader, there's the bubbly one, and then there's the one that's with like attitude and dark, which is like
Tough girl.
That raps.
No.
that's like the three girl trio.
The tough girl does not rap Dakazu. It's Happy Sunshine who's the rapper in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. She's like
That's surprising.
She's like super bubbly, except when she raps.
There's your twist. Yep.
Yeah, it's but she barely, like I said, she barely raps. So.
But it's like, you know, like the Powerpuff
Realistically, there
Girls.
should be
Go
like
ahead.
6 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that you mention it, I don't know that I can think of a K-pop group that is less than 4 or 5. I can think of some J-pop groups from like, you know.
Oh yeah, like Perfume.
Yes, exactly. Like from ages ago.
That's a completely different industry. They're still around. Oh wait, did they
yes,
just retire?
It is a different industry and a different sound. But it's really what's fascinating to me is just that like I feel like we just reached a point where Japanese culture has become extremely mainstream and really like, I mean, animes everywhere, and Korean media, Korean like cultural content is kind of newer to the West, but it is hit hard. Like really
but that's
suddenly.
because they were like really aggressive about spreading it. Like
yes,
if you go back, I guess like 15 years ago at this point, would it be longer? Like they were trying to get it on radio and they couldn't, so therefore we're just going to flood it. We're just going to flood YouTube with it.
Yeah.
And given that like, you know, people who are younger tend to be on YouTube, they basically like hit a whole demographic who are now like, you know, under the age of 20, 35. Like I guess I don't know, like 2010 I was listening to K-pop. I feel like that was even like the second generation, but that was around the time when like if you wanted to watch like any live performance of any K-pop group, it was really easy because like they were just throwing them all up there with the official stuff, and that was before all like the fan videos started.
Yeah. There's a song in K-pop Demon Hunters that the Saja boys sing called Soda Pop, and I'm like, this is just Hyuna's Bubble Pop, but in the modern day and with boys. It's very weird. But it made me feel old because I remember when Bubble Pop came out in 2011. So,
well, like the name of that group shares a reference to the 90s group.
Saja boys?
Yeah, isn't it?
Possibly.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it must be, given that they were like the big '90s kind of K-pop group. They were the ones who kind of like are credited with like starting it in Korea, because they were like they basically were like, oh, we're just gonna copy, I don't know, whatever NSYNC or whatever the other crowd were back in the '90s, and we're just gonna do that, and also combine it with like what they picked up from your man, the guy in Japan, who was done for like a load of like sexual abuse there recently. A few
Oh,
years
the
ago.
Johnnies.
Yes.
That guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they there's actually a book that came out years ago that kind of has a whole chapter on like basically like the K-pop factory. Basically what it is like. It is just a factory production where you get like 12 and 13-year-olds, you sign them to like contracts where basically they're accruing debt. And then you pay them fuck all because they got to pay back all that debt. And then after 7 years, most of them disband because they aren't popular enough to renegotiate a better deal, or they're done with it.
Yep. Sounds like the idol industry in Japan as well.
Yeah, it's a.
Well, I think the idol industry is different, because I don't think the idol industry is like putting people through like 5 years of training.
They have schools, I
As like
think.
12-year-olds.
In Japan, they do have schools to train pop idols. I'm pretty sure.
They do, but like right now,
But are they run by the companies though?
they're not. It's more
That's the
like
difference.
you have underground idols,
Hmm.
and those are the ones who are like put in really shit situations. They're basically being fleeced for their money.
Yeah, like because in Korea, like you're signed to a company, and they are like basically, so like it's CJ Entertainment, where I think it's different in Japan. In Japan, like there's that separation.
Is it like the Starburst
Of,
where
like,
you
the
have
training
like
that-
barracks where they stay and shit?
Pretty
Like
much,
the
yeah.
army,
Well, not
they,
barracks, but like
they get 3 hots on a cot and they gotta dance and sing for 8 hours a day.
more like 12. Like 12 to 14 hours. And they all talk about this. They're like, oh, we had to do whatever 14 hours before our first debut, and we were doing it like 3 days in a row. We got to practice.
Yeah.
That's one thing I thought was weird in the movie. Sorry to like swerve right back to K-pop Demon Hunters.
How dare you?
I was like slightly annoyed whenever Rumi or the girls were like, "Yeah, we're on vacation. Let's do some more work." I'm like, bro, this is a little toxic.
Yes. Yeah, because I think the movie has a lot of criticism of certain aspects of the K-pop industry, but the like overwork thing is not an issue that's brought up.
It's almost like a joke, and it almost like relishes in it, or like you know.
Yeah, and they also
got to give it all for the fans.
And they also, yeah, it's very much that. They also don't really show them working very much. They show them doing concerts and they show them defeating demons, which is their job, I guess. But there's very little like, here we are, slaving away at our practicing our dancing and choreographing our moves. It's very, I mean, it's a
It's
fantasy
a movie
film.
for kids.
Exactly.
Morana.
No, I know.
Yeah, we're talking about it. It's okay, dogs.
It is definitely.
It's cultural industrial propaganda.
Yeah, it's definitely because I feel like it is a movie for kids, but I think it does have a broad appeal. I mean, all my coworkers like it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I just feel like it's so close with so many things, and then just doesn't the payoff is not there. Like it doesn't come through,
I really think it's just the animation people put on it. Like they know how to work and make like interesting visuals and a fun paced movie. Like
the one
that's the
thing
big
that
part of it.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that really got me, I was just complaining about it because, again, my kids were just watching it before dinner. At the end, Rumi's singing and she gets on this aerial hoop and is like flying over the crowd. I'm like, she's making that look way too easy. Do you know how much ab strength you need to get up on a lyra like that? I'm getting
Yeah.
my like circus brain is angry. I didn't
You
see her
sound like
practice.
me in music.
I know. I mean, it's fine. Like again, but it's silly. These girls are super athletic. I mean, they're running around defeating demons. I'm assuming they've done training for this. We never see that either. They throw you right in. These girls are established as demon hunters. There's no training montage, no shonen, backstory, coming of age nonsense. It's just like right in, and then you get a little bit of backstory about Rumi, and then you move forward.
Yeah,
which is fine.
the other thing I didn't like as well, and again, like this is a kids movie, and it really is just like some of the plots just like very simple. Spoilers. I thought that they were going to come with some sort of like peace treaty with like the demons, because clearly there are good demons out there, or demons with the capacity for good,
Yeah, there was that. There was like,
and it's just like nope, fuck them all. After all
yeah,
that, after all that Rumi had to go through and be like, am I partly evil? I'm not partly evil because I'm me, and I know I'm not evil. But they're evil though, even though I'm one of them. It's just kind of like it's so the movie's so simple. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It is for babies in some forms.
And because I am a 35-year-old woman and not a 20-year-old pop idol, I just kept sitting there being like, because part of Rumi's baggage is that she doesn't want to tell her co-stars, that her bandmates, whatever you want to call them, that she's part demon. She does not show them the marks on her that show that she's demon. And so I'm sitting there the whole time going, just tell your friends. Oh my god, just fucking tell your friends.
Yeah.
You are making this way harder for yourself. Tell your fucking friends. But that's because I'm 35 and over that bullshit. But it's very much a kids movie, so
Okay, Morgan. Anything else about K-pop Demon Hunters?
I liked it. All complaining aside, it was a lot of fun, and I assume that I'm going to have to hear the songs for the next, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, because I have a small daughter who is likely to be obsessed.
I think it's better than Frozen.
Oh yeah, oh no doubt. Frozen is fine, but I don't actually think like everybody was like when Frozen came out, they're like, "Oh my god, it's like a feminist Disney movie," and I was like, "Can we talk about literally any other movie since then? Because Frozen's not that great." Moana's really good though. Just putting that out there. I like Moana and Encanto.
Okay, Dar, you have anything?
I have one thing, and I mentioned it a few weeks ago, but I have bought and played Silent Hill F. It's
Oh yeah, you got your first ending.
Yes. So, like typical Silent Hill fashion, there's multiple endings to this, but unlike most Silent Hill games, there's only one ending the first time you play through the game. Everybody gets that first ending when you play through the game, and after you replay it, it kind of opens up the other endings. And also the playthroughs are slightly different. The dialogue is slightly different, and also you know a lot more detail about the plot. So you see the foreshadowing that before it seemed random, but now it's very intentional. But yeah, Silent Hill F is a really good game. It was really fun. I played it on hard. I don't recommend for people to play it on hard because it's very hard. I'm playing it now
Wow.
on my second playthrough. I'm playing it on what they call story mode, which is just regular difficulty. Oh my god! Like in hard, you can make like one mistake because like 3 hits kill you. But now I could get hit like 20 times and I'm good. It's so much easier. So much easier to just run through the game. But like yeah, so the reason why Silent Hill F is good, besides it just being fun and the gameplay is good, is basically a story about a young woman who is coming to terms or has to come to terms with the fact that she doesn't jive societally with the expectations that they have for her for being a woman. But she lives in 1960s Japan, so her society is extremely hostile towards that kind of thinking. Like she grew up hearing that a woman's happiness starts at marriage, and then she looks at her mother who's married and she says, my mother is miserable. My father's abusive, and whenever I stick up for my mom and try and defend my mom because my dad's yelling at her and throwing shit at her, my mom turns to me and says, don't talk to your father that way, and she takes his side. And then just later she's getting berated again, and she's like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be this pathetic person like that. But again, is very the society and this era where she's living in, it's kind of you kind of can't just say like, I'm not going to get married. It's just like crazy talk. And if she has that going over on home, and with her friends, she has other conflicts. Because her oldest friend is a boy named Shu, and they used to play this game called Space Wars when they were young, where they pretend they were like space cadets fighting against an alien invasion. And they kind of grew up together, and she learned that when you're little boys and little girls, it's okay to play together, but when you get a certain age, people expect you to kind of split up and find your girl group and find your boy group and not intermingle unless you're like doing something at school or you're actually trying to court each other in some way. And all that rigidity like doesn't make sense to her. Like she really doesn't fit the kind of societal standards that they want for a woman. And their friendship doesn't really fit it either, because like they're really really close but they're not really romantic. And they call each other eyeball, or like partner is the way it's translated in the subtitles. I'm not sure exactly what context eyeball is usually used under.
That's a good teal.
Yeah. So, but like, it's just like a weird thing for this boy and a girl to become, hey, partner, let's go, partner. It's very playful. It's kind of something sweet amongst these really close friends, but people see it as weird, right? And then you get her other friend. I won't talk too much about Sakako. She's important, but I want to talk about Rinko. Rinko is Hinako. Sorry, I don't think I mentioned the main character's name is Hinako. Hinako's best friend is Rinko. But Rinko likes Shu. She like loves Shu. And Rinko doesn't have any issues of being a girlfriend. And I don't think they say this explicitly, but it's easy to infer that like she doesn't have any issues of one day being a wife and being a mother and carrying somebody's child and just being like a homemaker. You know, Rinko's the kind of person who very comfortably is able to just slot into that societal expectations of what a woman is. And that causes some kind of jealousy and stress between her and Hinako, because she feels like Hinako is kind of in the way of her getting to Shu. Because from her perspective, Hinako and Shu are never going to hook up. And she's basically like getting cock blocked by Hinako. And this is all kind of like underneath the surface, but during like the horror stuff, it kind of comes up to the surface and it gets boiled over, and you see like exaggerated versions of these deep thoughts and deep feelings. And the other thing I want to talk about of how like subtle the game is, because the game tells you stuff that's going on deliberately, but it also just kind of like shows you, like at home, one of the first things you see is the family portrait, and you see Hinako's mom and dad and her older sister Junko, who got married off. And like when you get married, like you basically become part of like the dad's family, or yeah, like the husband's family, right? You know, like you're subsumed into that family. So in a way, she kind of left Hinako behind. She was like the proper sister, right? Hinako was a rebellious sister, but she always protected Hinako. But now that she's not here, Hinako has to deal with her father on her own. And in that family portrait, you see the three of them together, and like a foot and a half away, you see Hinako. And it's just a very simple, straightforward way to see just like she is alienated in her own home. She does not feel part of this family. And even with the Rinko stuff, there's text in the game that describes how Rinko and Hinako were like, they're really good friends, but they fight a lot. And they always break up. They break up and they don't talk to each other for like weeks on end, and then they become friends again. And then at the end of it, she says something like, "I know eventually we're going to have another fight." That's just the kind of friendship they have. And as you play the game, you can really tell why, because Rinko is just like the master at the micro like slights, where she sees Shu and she runs over to Shu. Shu, you're here, thank God, because it's a dangerous situation, right? So she's happy to see a friend. And she goes and hugs Shu. And then she goes, "Oh, you're here too, Hinako." Just tons of shit like that. Tons of shit like that. And then she mentions, "Oh, Hinako, you sound like a man when you talk to Shu." And stuff like that. And he could just really see that, like, that's the type of thing that Hinako, like, it wouldn't bother her, right? Because she doesn't, like, play those games. But disrespect is still disrespect. Like, she still is meeting it as, like, an insult. So you could really see that this kind of friendship where, like, you put up with the slights, you put up with like the slight things here and there until it boils over, and they just go at it, and it just becomes a huge drama travesty. And then, you know, they break up and then they come together, right? The game is really good about kind of like showing those details. And the last thing I want to talk about the game, because I don't want to go too long. I could talk about this game forever because there's a lot of stuff to it. I haven't even talked about like the lore of the town and stuff like that. It ties into the supernatural stuff going on. But like just sticking to like the whole like kind of like feminist bent of the game, there's like an other world, which is a typical thing in the Silent Hill games where usually you get transported to like a hellish version of your world. And the version of that in Silent Hill F is that you get transported into like a mystical ancient Japan looking world where you're like in a Japanese castle sort of setting. And you come across a man in a fox mask. And at first, he seems like somebody who's like guiding you and protecting you. But as these sequences go on, is he seems like more and more suspect, and it basically becomes like a story about grooming and like arranged marriages kind of. Because like he's constantly telling her to do things, and Hinako's like basic intuition is telling her this is dangerous, but he's like, don't worry, nothing's gonna happen. And then she does it, and sure enough, so she gets hurt and something happens, you know. And it just really feels like that whole kind of like dynamic when a young woman is basically getting her defenses broken down by like an older man. Little by little, she's kind of ignoring all the things she's known and all her intuitions and all her like just survival instincts are getting dulled little by little. And the more sequences you do with the fox mask man, the more subservient and like obsessed she becomes with the fox man. And it's really just kind of weird and kind of scary. And it gets to the point where like at a certain point she's almost trance-like, where she's just like following the foxman. He like she's doing anything for him. At a certain point, and this is like a spoiler for like a mid-game, late to mid-game thing that happens. He takes her to like the ceremonial place, hands her like a hacksaw, and she hacks off her own arm. It's really gruesome. And then they give her like a fox arm, and they graft the fox arm onto her, and if she's like a schoolgirl with a fox arm. And then later they brand her back, and then later, this is the more gruesome one, they slice off the part of her face that would kind of cover a mask. Think of like the Batman cowl, the part kind of like right above the nose into the forehead. They slice that off, and then they graft on a fox mask onto her, completely kind of like mutilating her body, and she's kind of doing this like wittingly for him. And it's just kind of like a really, you know, it's a horror game because there's monsters and stuff like that, but it's also like a horror game because you're just slowly watching this person kind of I don't want to say corrupted, but being abused and being just like totally fucked up by this other person for their own means, because the fox mask guy has his own objectives with her. And just the sequences of those, it always feels like those situations where like a young woman is taken to like a place for adults, like a bar or a party, and it's full of other adults, and maybe they don't take a particularly good care of the girl, and all she has to hang on to is like the guy who took her there, right? It kind of is like that kind of vibe, right? So I could see this game, maybe I should have said something before I started talking, but I could see this game being like very triggering, like for a lot of people, because the subject matter is just like really sensitive, but it's done in a really good way, because it's all monsters and stuff, but you know, a lot of times the monsters represent other stuff.
The horror is patriarchy.
Yeah, I literally said that before when I was talking about this game.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. It's really good. The first ending you get, it's not like a bad ending, but it doesn't solve a lot of the mysteries. So I wish there was more to the first ending. So it's definitely one of those games where I want to get more of the endings. Silent Hill never has canonical endings. It's not like, oh, this is the real ending for this Silent Hill, except for Silent Hill 1, because there's a direct sequel to it in 3. But famously, Silent Hill 2 has like 5 or 6 endings, and people just have their ending, right? It's like, oh, when I beat the game, I got this ending, and that's just a canonical ending for them. So Silent Hill F is kind of similar, where like the fate of Hinako and stuff like that, it's all different. There's also like a lot of like doppelganger stuff going on, where like Hinako has like sometimes different Hinakos show up and they're at odds. And I'm not exactly sure exactly what they represent, but to me, I got the vibe where it's like they're supposed to represent the different facets of a person and of a young woman, whether it's like the daughter or like a potential mate and stuff like that. There's a lot of like things you can read into. It's like this is how Hinako sees herself, and this whole thing you're doing in this section is just really Hinako's headspace about this particular thing. There's a lot of metaphorical stuff. So it's definitely one of those games that I'm going to watch a bunch of video essays about afterwards. Of course, after I kind of have my own feelings about it, but yeah, it's really well done. It's very combat heavy. So if you're one of the people who likes horror games, but you don't like combat, then definitely play on story mode. It's not like really hard when you play it on story mode. But I highly recommend it. It's weird. The tagline for the game is something like beauty and horror, or horror and beauty, or something like that.
Find the beauty and terror in this psychological horror.
Yeah. And that seems like it's kind of gendered, which I think is on purpose, because like, oh, it's about a girl and women are beautiful. But it's also just like it's selling the fact that the game is very aesthetic. It has a unique aesthetic compared to other Silent Hill games, which is smart. They didn't try to replicate the Silent Hill aesthetic in Japan. Also, a period piece, taking place 1960. The architecture, the fashion, and then the way the monsters look, it's all like really particular, and it's all like really interesting. And I think like the game looks great, and like even the horror and the gore looks great and interesting. It's a really good one. I'm giving this one top Dark Fox marks.
All right, nice. That's been our video game corner.
Yeah, we had a movie corner and a video game corner this episode.
Yeah, did any of us read any books? Dakazu did.
I did, but I mean, our main segment is about manga, so it's fine. It's fine.
I finished reading Beautiful Monster, but it's in Chicago. So
Yeah.
next week, Beautiful Monster time,
No, next.
and hopefully,
Okay.
and hopefully I can figure out why the fuck I like it so much.
Okay, hold on. Let's finish up what you've been reading. Before we get to our main segment, we will talk about what's happening next. But next week, we're gonna take off. It's our week to take off, have a break. When we come back the following week, I will not be available. My family is coming to visit in Hawaii, so I will be spending time with them. And then Darfox, Morgana, you guys are going to be joined by ARG Bombshell, and you will be reading Clamp School Detectives, all 3 volumes.
Hell yeah, we will.
With more talk, I'll keep up with Demon Hunters and Silent Hill F.
Probably.
But yeah, that's the plan for in 2 weeks. One shot on Clamp School Detectives, all 3 volumes. And then I don't think Seamus you want to join them for that, so unless you want to, you can talk about your thing, if you want to then.
I think in 2 weeks I'll be working.
Oh, that's right. You are busy as well.
Yeah, that's why I decided to rope Darfox into some shoujo weirdness.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't push Seamus through it. I don't think it's to his taste.
I believe the week after Darfox is gone, and so we are trying to do a movie in Manga in Motion on Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocent. So yeah, that's the schedule for after when I come back as well. But yeah, next week is off, and then the following week when they come back, Darfox and Morgana will be leading a discussion on Clamp School Detectives by Clamp. Stay tuned for that. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it will be time for our triple dip on The Climber and hashtag DRCL. Okay, everybody, we are back. We're doing a twipple dip for this episode. That means we are continuing on a manga series that we have covered on a triple dip. And for this episode, we are looking at DRCL Volume 4 and The Climber Volume 3, both by Shinichi Sakamoto. So, hashtag DRCL is Shinichi Sakamoto's current series that he is still doing right now. And The Climber is something that put him on the map that he did before Innocent, which then became Innocent Rouge. Usually I let the other hosts pick the order on what we're going to talk about, but I think we should talk about DRCL first. So let me get the general information on that. Let's see, DRCL Volume 4. For localization, we have translation Caleb Cook, touch-up art and lettering Brendan Hull, design Cam Lee, editor Andrew Kuthler Bartosh. I'm sure I butchered all those names. I apologize. Let me go ahead and read the copy for Volume 4. The nature of time, reality, and fantasy intertwine as Jonathan Harker's ill-fated journey to meet with Count Dracula begins. Traveling through strange foreign lands, a young boy will confront unimaginable terrors that his short time in this world could scarce prepare him for. Yet even after escaping the fearsome beasts and ghosts of the wild, he will find within the stone walls of Dracula's castle terrible monsters waiting to devour him all the same. So yeah, Volume 4 is all about Jonathan Harker and his trip to go see Count Dracula, which I believe, Morgana, it's in the that's the beginning of the Bram Stoker's novel, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was so confused when I started reading this, because it's been a while since we read DRCL. Volume 3 we covered like a while ago, many months prior. And I remember Volume 3 ending with like a crazy showdown happening in a graveyard between a Lucy turned into a caterpillar monster and the boys.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, did I buy the wrong volume? Did we skip a volume? What's happening?
I think we're flashing back.
This entire volume is a flashback, and I forgot at the end of Volume 3, the boys went to the cemetery to confront Lucy, but they left Mina behind, and then Mina was visited by some kind of ghostly thing in a wheelchair, which now we know is Jonathan Harker. And so yeah, we have Volume 4 where it starts with Jonathan Harker's journal, which is it's the same thing in the novel, right, Morgana? It's his journal entries.
Yes. This volume is probably my favorite of the ones we've read, and I think part of that is because it feels like a real adaptation of Dracula now. Like, definitely not verbatim Dracula, but there are bits in it that are very much pulled from the source material. Like Dakazu, you know this because you've also been watching Tasting History, but he talks about paprika hendel or chicken paprikash.
Yep.
That's in the book. And it's just a little thing that like didn't really need to be added in here, but for some reason it made me really happy to like, oh, we're like going to the source. We are actually, this is not a complete fiction. What I do think is really interesting about this is that we have, in this adaptation, we have equated Dracula with the historical Vlad Dracul or Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Tepes, whatever you want to call him, which is not in the book. Like, Dracula, the character of Dracula, Bram Stoker may have been influenced by stories of Vlad the Impaler, but it is not a one-to-one. Like, Dracula's not like definitely supposed to be him. The name Dracul, I think, is like the dragon, so it's kind of like a, kind of an ominous nickname sort of thing that Vlad the Impaler had. But we've decided in this adaptation that he basically is Vlad the Impaler, and even brings up Vlad Tepes's brother, who, like, a real historical figure. Yeah, and that is something that happens in Francis Ford Coppola's adaptation of Dracula, which we watched together too. I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel like #DRCL pulls a lot from that particular adaptation in terms of like tone and story. because a lot of this, like, you know, the way we see Dracula here. Well, first of all, we see Dracula like a cat girl for a while, but which
That
is
was a choice.
very weird. Yes, but we do also see him depicted as Vlad Tepes, and that is, I mean, he looks just like Gary Oldman, frankly.
Yep, he does. Which is a stark contrast to how he's been represented in the previous volumes.
As Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a roller coaster. Oh, and the brides being drag queens is also a whole thing that I have. Like, I don't. Shinji Sakamoto is weird. He's real weird, and I really enjoy it.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that, but looking,
Yeah.
they don't have.
They don't have female bodies, and one of them is wearing that like drag queen makeup of like super large eyelashes that extend beyond the
Mhm.
bottom of the
Yep,
eye.
okay. Mhm.
Yeah, it's some drag race shit. It's pretty great.
I mean, all the aesthetics and like the creativity of the drawing and the art in Volume 4 of DRCL it's on another level. I think Shinichi Sakamoto might be the best art just regarding like manga artist. I don't think I know of any other manga artist who draws at his level.
No, I mean, he's really good at both movement, which is very important in comics, right? So not all artists who are good at drawing or painting are necessarily good at comics. There's illustrative, and then there's kind of the movement you need for comics. He's really good at the movement and also really technically skilled as an illustrator, and definitely pulls from fine art and paintings, and it never ceases to amaze me. I just think he's next level. Yeah, he's a next level artist.
Yeah, I was super impressed by this volume once I realized I was not confused about the story. Everything from Jonathan Harker traveling with that ghost carriage, being grabbed by the giant hand of the carriage driver, Dracula's carriage driver, aka Dracula. It's there's not a lot of subtlety with the way he like does his representations, and I think that's fine. There's a part where Jonathan needs to enter the castle, so he flings his wheelchair into stairs so he can go flying through the front door, and then he is falling through like a huge stairwell, a spiral stairwell, and on one side it just says hope, and on the other side it says despair. And I was like, this is so literal. But then I also realized, in the original Japanese, it was probably in English, so at least it's in a different language. But here in English, it is so literal. Yet, I did not care because it looks fantastic. It looks so good, like these scenes of Jonathan falling through that stairwell.
His work is also, like, there are other instances where there's text, like, in the sky or, like, whatever, and it has this kind of like dreamlike quality. Like a lot of these scenes where Jonathan is experiencing Dracula, like meeting Dracula, experiencing all these things. I think they really, this is a good adaptation in that I'm given the feeling I'm supposed to get. Like, even if these things are not literally happening, even if Jonathan is not literally falling down into the abyss, which jury's out, who knows, right? Like, anything could be happening in this series. There's a giant caterpillar monster, who knows? That is the feeling you're supposed to be getting, and that is the feeling that Stoker was kind of trying to evoke in the original, is this kind of dread, this kind of anxiety that as a modern reader I don't think I get as much, just because Dracula is so well known. But I think what makes this really successful as an adaptation is that it brings those feelings back, those feelings that initial readers would have had who are not familiar with the story or the trappings of vampire fiction. It kind of emphasizes that, I don't know, that mood in a way that I think is really, it's just really awesome. I don't know. I was really, really happy with this volume. I have a lot of feelings.
I mean, in this volume, they have opera lyrics. You know that chapter, Infant, where there's a mother feeding her,
Yes,
breastfeeding her
Nessun Dorma.
child? Mm-hmm. Nisun Dorma, probably the most famous tenor aria from Turandot. And the lyrics are used correctly. I was like, Shinichi Sakamoto, you've come such a long way from since you were putting in that bullshit Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring score that I thought didn't make any fucking sense. Good on you. Last volume, it was the kid singing that choir piece, and now it's Nisun Dorma, and it's used correctly. It's good shit. Okay, Morgana and I have been gushing about this, but what did you think, Seamus, of Volume 4 of DRCL?
I did not like it was like, let's jump back to the start of the novel and like arrest the momentum as a general. I don't know where it started. I don't know who's the cause of this, because it's endemic to like so much stuff now. Like, oh, 3 volumes, and it's, oh, now we got to go back to like a previous event and just like, now we got to catch up.
No, Hirasawa, maybe.
I
No,
will
because
say,
this is also endemic to like Image Comics.
oh yeah,
This is endemic to serialized fiction. Even novels are like this, actually, where it's in the last, I don't know, 20 years or something.
I do think so. In a few of the scenes, we see Mina kind of as a ghostly figure in the background. I think Mina is learning this story for the first time, and that's why we're getting it now. I understand what you're saying, and I agree. It does kind of is a little jarring to go back to the beginning like this, but I think the implication is that Mina is hearing all of this for the first time.
I mean, Seamus is still right, though. It's still
Yes, absolutely.
jumping back.
I'm just being devil's advocate here.
Is Stephen King do this? Is it his fault?
I'm not sure.
Maybe. So something kicked this off. Because it's definitely just like a thing now. Like, yeah, because I do think it's in the well, maybe it's older than that. First, I thought it was like an American comics thing, and then I'm like, no, it's kind of all over the place.
I mean,
Like, I don't know, is it like this just like approach to storytelling where it's like you do the exciting stuff, and then you just like, you know, move the stuff that you would start off with now to whatever boring in later.
Because you gotta grab the audience with the fun stuff first.
I more see it as like, if that was the motivation, I more see it as likely like, let's start off with the more straightforward plot and events, and now we can flash back to the batshit crazy stuff. Because if I would have started with like wheelchair Jonathan Harkness falling into Infinity Void and getting sucked off by drag queens, like a bunch of like readers would have been like, this is too weird for me.
It's not like it started off subtle, though.
But I feel
On
like
the boat with the eyeballs coming out, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is like another level of like weirdness.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you by this point you're used to a certain level of weird psychosexual anxiety that has been playing out for 3 volumes.
But other than that, I really liked it.
All right.
It was just that very specific bit annoyed me. Although it was, I thought it was not weird, but like And maybe this is because I guess we're reading it in English, but like it is literally lifting sentences straight from the novel.
I'm sure Caleb Cook, the translator, did that on purpose. I think that was a similar thing with the all the manga
text, I think.
Okay, yeah, like it was a similar thing with the Go Tanabe's like
Lovecraft.
Yeah, Lovecraft manga stuff. They try to match the original text sometimes. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't mind that. Like, it's public domain. It's an adaptation. Use that text.
Darfox brought it up, but do we need to address the fact that Jonathan Harker is represented as like a prepubescent boy in a sexual situation?
I mean, yes, that was not my favorite, but
I mean, I think that's part of the horror.
Didn't this also occur with all the other characters and like all the stuff with Lucy/Luke?
Yes, but Jonathan looks much younger, and all the other sexual stuff was happening between peers, not between a child and an adult. So I think that makes it a little bit different.
I mean, do we still count as adult when it's a drag
drag
spider.
Vampire?
Yeah, spider monster.
Spider monster drag vampire.
Aren't we all children if you're like a 1,000-year-old vampire?
Fair point. This scene, so I don't remember, it's been a very long time since I read Dracula. I don't remember the brides very well or if they're portrayed, but this scene with the brides and Jonathan Harker is in
It's in the movie.
It's a movie, yeah, that we watched, and that is a very sexual scene. I don't suspect it's super sexual in the original, at least not explicitly, because it was written in 1860 whatever.
Someone pointed out, because I just started book club, we talked about this recently, but there was like I think there's like a difference between, was it the American and English text where what Dracula says to them, because like in the American text he says he's mine, but in the English text it's something else. And I think someone was making the point that like, because I think if you something like he's mine would have been like seen as too like verging on like allusions to homosexuality for like England at the time.
That's really interesting. Right, because the implication is not that, well, I mean, my understanding is not that Dracula and Jonathan are in a sexual situation, but that like Dracula is controlling Jonathan to meet his ends, right? And the brides in the way would compromise that, especially if they, drank all his blood or whatever fluids they're drinking from him.
I will say Shinichi Sakamoto is on his shit as usual with the representation of Jonathan Harker's genitalia being a rosebud.
Oh yeah,
gently sucked.
Yep. It's some George O'Keeffe shit.
It's a Citizen Kane reference.
Rosebud. Yeah, but I think Darfox, I think you mentioned, isn't that part of the horror, or did somebody mention is that part of the horror?
Probably me. Sounds smart.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it is, and certainly Jonathan was not happy about it. He was scared. I think it's implied that he was scared, but also like didn't want to move, didn't want to do anything because he didn't know what could happen. So scared and aroused.
Hence the cat girl Dracula child.
That was a choice.
I like it because it's like the last thing I expected.
I was reading in bed, sitting next to my husband, and when I got to that page, I turned it to him and I said, "Look at this." And he goes, "When the fuck was there a cat girl in Dracula? Who is that?" And I said, "Look, it's Dracula." He goes, "Get that shit away from me."
I am kind of, I don't know where he's going with this, because you got like Luke and Lucy and now Dracula, and I think you could even, I don't know, we get around to reading Innocence with the what's her name in Innocent, the executioner daughter?
Marie.
Yes.
Some
Uh,
gender
Definitely doing
fluidity is
stuff
one of his
mixing
themes.
gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's going, I don't know, but
I think
Huh.
it's just one of the things he likes to play with, and I'm not mad about it. Speaking of Marie, she is offhandedly mentioned in this book as well.
Yeah, there's a direct connection in the world of DRCL being in the same universe as Innocent. Johnson Harker comes from was it an orphanage
Mm-hmm.
that was founded by that one character at the end of Innocent, the original series.
Yeah, I think it wasn't founded by him because he died before he got the chance, but I think it was implied that Marie founded it in England. Not in, he
Oh.
had founded it in France and then.
Yep, they mentioned the school getting burned down at the end of Innocent. So
And said that the orphanage was founded by a doctor who was an executioner, and there were all these medical texts, and I was like, gee, wow, this was not the crossover I expected for some reason.
I love it when manga artists are like, yo, this new manga, it's actually tied to my old manga. I always like that.
They're gonna be on a mountain and they're gonna look down and be like, "This is the mountain from the climber."
I mean, that's
wait,
in Japan.
are they? Oh no, they're going to Are they going to the? Aren't they going to the Swiss Alps in the climber? Or were they just climbing the Japanese Swiss Alps?
They're climbing the Japanese Swiss Alps. We'll get to that when we get to the climber proper, but
I thought they were going. Maybe not.
the
But the
plan
other thing
is
I noticed too.
to get to Everest. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, K2.
That's Everest, right?
No, K2 is a different mountain.
Oh shit.
They're both in the Himalayas, but it's a different mountain.
Ah, gotcha.
But okay, maybe we'll see in the climbers. I thought that they had a trip plan to the Alps because they have a trip plan to the Alps. You could very easily have them like go somewhere in France and be like, "Oh, we're staying in a hotel where it used to be like an educational school, formed by an
Right.
executioner."
Yep.
And it's like off to Romania.
Yeah, right. I was
We're
gonna
in
say
Transylvania now.
they could cross through Romania too.
That's gonna be a little hard to do because the climber came before DRCL and Innocent. So making that connection in DRCL is gonna be a little harder. Plus, like, climber takes place
But
in modern times.
They could do the reverse thing. They just kind of like reference Mount Everest.
Oh, there's gonna be
somehow.
future flash forward or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow DRCL they end up like killing Dracula at Mount Everest. It's like we gotta climb K2 to kill Dracula. It's like what?
Or just a girlfriend character shows up, from the climber.
Oh man, that's a whole.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll get there, but I just had to mention her.
Speaking of weird psychosexual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on. We will.
Okay. So back to one of the, I was saying. I don't know if any of you read the Picture of Dorian Gray.
No,
I started-
know of it.
I started reading it
Yeah,
and
'cause
stopped because there was a really long passage about tapestries and I couldn't anymore.
The reason I bring it up is I am assuming the whole stuff with the Dracula portrait is like a Dorian Gray reference, where he like maintains his youth because all like the aging or whatever negative
it
stuff
happens in
is
the
like
painting,
done to
right?
the portrait.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It also seems like maybe Dracula is multiple individuals in one being sort of thing.
Like our
Or
Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
like our Lord and Savior. Well, I do think it's like Vlad Tepes and the devil cohabitating in one body or something. You know what I mean?
Right. They there's multiple instances in this volume where Dracula refers to themselves as we or us.
Which like could be kind of like the royal we, or it could be like we are legion, you know, Satan shit.
it's like Venom.
Oh no, a parasitic relationship with two souls cohabitating one body? Is this my shit or what?
I mean, when they were doing the flashback of the story of Vlad the Impaler, it was a storybook, The Count and the Pomegranate.
Mm-hmm.
I love that too. That looks so good.
I
That was like a chapter that was only like 11 pages. I was like, I bet that took like easily over a month to draw.
didn't he use pomegranates in Innocent also
Yes.
to like represent human viscera? Because
Hmm.
I have a pomegranate in my fridge. I should really open it.
Pomegranate juice is nice.
Okay, really quick aside. Morgana, how do you eat your pomegranate?
So I quarter it,
Mm-hmm. You
and
break it
then
open, yeah.
I cut it down both, down the sides and quarter it, and then pop out all the seeds, and then or the arils is technically what they're called, and put them all in a bowl, and then I eat them from the bowl
With a spoon or something.
or my hands.
Right.
Why? I don't bite into it if that's what you're asking.
Right. I don't bite into it either, but I remember I haven't had one in a long time. I remember when I did have them, I would take the little thing, put it in my mouth, and then squeeze it with my fingers. And then I think because like the center part isn't really chewable, or there's a seed.
It's hard, yeah. It's
yeah.
like such as.
And so like I was basically just popping them in my mouth, and by the time I was done, my fingers were stained.
Oh no, I just eat them whole.
Okay.
The whole thing goes down.
Crunch.
I love pomegranates. I absolutely love them so much. And so Shinichi Sakamoto's fascination with them and the linking of them to like human blood and guts is both exciting and upsetting.
Yeah, I'm just flipping through this volume, and there's so many lovely 2-page spreads. I mean, there's a scene at the end of this volume where it's Cat Dracula talking about like impaling all the enemies and then drinking their blood because it's so sweet. And all these corpses are being like strung up on poles, piercing their bottoms, but they're all posed like they're dancing and stuff.
Yeah, it's some really artful torture porn.
You turn the page and then there's like the first panel is like looking up a pole that is like dripping blood of like somebody who's been impaled in the ass, and it's just like that's both terrifying, upsetting, and really beautiful. So
only Sakamoto could do this is how I feel about that.
yes, absolutely.
I don't think I could handle this from any other artist. If the level of art was any lower, I don't think this could work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's that 2-page spread where Jonathan Harker is lost in the castle, and it's like was it MC Escher painting?
Yes.
Or earlier in the volume, he's talking about the Mobius strip when he's talking about his own flashback of, ending up in a wheelchair.
I also am curious as to why we've put him in a wheelchair, because that is definitely not canon.
Right.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm just curious as to what the choice was, or whether Shinichi Sakamoto just really wanted to draw a Victorian wheelchair. Seems like it'd be hard.
Maybe he wanted Jonathan Harker to seem more like,
Vulnerable or something.
yeah, more weak.
Seems very vulnerable to me already.
Or gave an excuse on why he can't easily escape. He has a disability.
Well, I don't know. He got in that house some way somehow. He's gonna if he wanted to escape, I feel like
He's a motivated young man.
Yeah, that age of them in the coffin and she's sucking on his thumb. It's like that's something.
yeah.
Maybe all these like, oh, she's 10 years old, but she's really 1,000. It's all worth it for this. It's like this
Yeah.
this guy will do something with it.
Exactly. This is the one good one of those.
I'll give her catted ears. Really double down on it, like.
So weird. I would not accept this from anyone else. Truly, like there's so much in this book that I find in any other hands I would find stupid. Like
Right.
truly just
Or
downright
upsetting.
or upsetting.
But when it's drawn so lovely by Shinichi Sakamoto, you're like, oh, I guess I'm okay with this.
But also he's just like balls to the wall insane. Like we're just going to go all in. Like these books are a fever dream. They are not supposed to be pleasant. I mean, they are pleasant in a way, but they're just so, I don't know, they're weird. I don't know how else to explain it. Uh but yeah, this was really really nice to read. Uh I don't know. I just had a really good time with it. And I think some of it was the, understanding the source material and being like, "Oh, he's like actually using the source material now," because for the last few volumes it's been kind of on and off, right?
Yeah. He was taking a lot of liberties.
So many, and he still is. He absolutely still is. But it kind of like, I feel like it makes sense now. Like something slotted into place for me in this volume.
Why do you think there's a Russian translator credited at the end of this?
You ask this every time we talk about DRCL.
They
There's always
do.
a Russian translator credited at the end of this.
Well, this one did have on the train going to Borgo Pass. There were a bunch of people from different backgrounds, and there was somebody speaking in at least a language that used Cyrillic alphabet, so I assume Russian.
Mm-hmm.
No. Should it be like Romanian or
No,
Hungarian?
there were a bunch of different. Like Romanian is not written in Cyrillic. There were.
No, it's not.
No, it's a Romance language. It's a really weird language. Because Romanian is that language where I hear it and I go, this sounds like it could be Polish, but I also recognize words that sound Italian. It's the only Romance language that has like Slavic influence. It's a really weird language. But no, on the train, there are a bunch of people all speaking in different languages.
Oh, this is in the carriage, Morgana.
It's in the carriage? Oh, sorry, I thought
Yeah.
it was a train. In the carriage, there's a bunch of people speaking in different languages, and there's one of them who is speaking with using Cyrillic alphabet. So I think Jonathan said he was Serbian. So that's my
That makes
best
sense.
guess. Yeah, that's my best guess as to why there's a Russian translator on this one.
What's a Serbian person doing in Transylvania?
Spooky stuff.
Traveling.
I think in the novel it was like Slovaks and some other group were like mentioned. Hungarians, I think. And again, I don't know how much Bram Stoker actually knew about what he was writing about, given he never
Yeah,
lived there.
I was gonna say.
Is it like with Osamu Tezuka and Buddha?
Well, and of course,
Yeah, pretty much.
some
Some of the stuff he writes about people from that part of the world are like, oh, this is I don't think it's Orientalism, but it's like the equivalent of Orientalism for Eastern Europeans.
Yeah, I
written by
mean,
Western Europeans.
Stoker's whole thing with Dracula was fear of foreigners, and Transylvania kind of encompassing like scary foreigners, and Dracula representing that kind of.
Sounds like Lovecraft.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think Stoker was that bad. I don't think he was
Or
like
blatant.
No, I don't think he was like. I don't want to say he wasn't outright racist because that's obviously pretty
I mean,
bad.
based on the time that he was alive, let's just assume he was slightly racist.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of fear in England at the time of foreign influence and immigrants and things like that. I mean, it's the same story world over, century after century, but I think Dracula, the novel, very much feeds on those fears of things that are other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, yeah. So he knew fuck all about Wallachia or Transylvania.
Oh, one thing I want to mention while we're still talking about DRCL. when Jonathan gets to Count Dracula's castle and the gates, there's a flashback where he's speaking with somebody about getting enrolled at the Whitby School, some headmaster or something. And as he plunges himself into the doors, you see the headmaster say, "I applaud your courage," and then you flip that head upside down,
Oh
and
yeah.
it turns into a grinning face. That was so cool. I love shit like that. How he perfectly made that face to work, like, in both directions.
What I want to know is, did he draw it once and then flip it in Photoshop, or did he painstakingly draw the second one so that it looked
He
right?
100% flipped it in Photoshop.
I hope so, for his own sake. We saw how long it takes him to make a page.
Yeah.
He has a
Absolutely.
gallery of hairs and fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
He has a gallery of flipped faces too.
Dark Fox, did you get to share your thoughts on, like, DRCL Volume 4?
Shit's crazy.
That's it?
I liked it. I'll say this before I say anything else about it. I read the second, and for some reason, this is a lot more annoying to read on your phone, especially compared to the Climber. The Climber has like very traditional comic text and stuff like that, and a lot of like white and stark backgrounds. And DRCL is pages are just so textured and layered, and then the text is like, I don't know what the actual font is, but like it's not just like Comic Sans or whatever. They have fancier fonts than normal, because this whole book is just like, an aesthetic like piece. And on the phone, it's so hard to read. I really wish I had it in print, or at least a tablet, so I could have it bigger in my hand. I've been avoiding buying a tablet, but maybe that's gonna be like a 2026 thing where I'm just gonna buy myself like a nice tablet with like a really good screen, so I could just like read manga in a more comfortable way. Because we read so much
Yeah.
digital for the we read like 99% digital for the podcast. Very rarely do we read physical for the podcast. So
Yeah,
like it's
sorry.
like, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I read the physical copy because I have been buying this, but I have a tablet that I read everything else on, and I definitely, I don't think I could read this on my phone. I don't think I could read anything we read on my phone. I think it pissed me off. So
Yeah,
I think you should.
it was annoying. It was annoying. Which just hampered my enjoyment a little bit. Just a personal, or not personal, but like a circumstantial thing. But besides that, I mean, it was a really weird and I mean, I guess this is what I wanted out of this kind of story, was just like just weird stuff. It's kind of uncomfortable, really aesthetic and beautiful, you know. Yeah, and that's why like it didn't faze me at all when there was like a young child in these sexual situations, just because it's like, this is like, what's happening here is supposed to be like ungodly and like not proper, and like in every sense of the word. Like it's just like a lot of bad stuff. And yeah, I thought the Catgirl stuff, like at first I was so confused, and then I was like, is this person lying and they're pretending to be Dracula? But then no, it's just weird. They have different forms. They're different beings. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it besides what we already talked about, but like, I guess I didn't mind it so much that we had this whole. Normally, I do mind that. Like, okay, let's just pluck you out of the momentum you had and just go to the flashback. But this gave me the stuff that I like about the book, anyways, which is like the weirdness and the super crazy elaborate art. So I just enjoyed it. I was out here for the ride.
Nice. I was just gonna say, I also read like half of it on my phone, and I too had to like zoom in to read some of the text, and I was like, no, let me go to my computer and my Kindle app, and I was like, oh, this is so much better when it's big.
Like, I think I would have got a headache if I hadn't like broken up the reading over like a couple of nights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that bad. It's just like one of my I'm just eye squinting the whole time. It's like, this shouldn't be a painful read. It should be an enjoyable read.
But yeah, anything else about DRCL before we move along?
Did Jonathan Harkness? I always pronounce his name different. Harkness.
Harker.
Harker. Did he die in the book? Because he survived. He survives in Bram Stoker. He survives. Or sorry, in the movie he survives.
Yes, he does survive.
Okay.
Because
he escapes somehow. I don't remember.
Doesn't he end up in a hospital in Hungary or something like that?
Yes, and he does come back to England, and he is. Does he end up being part of the?
I think he is at the end. He's back with them all, and they're like,
Yeah. Then they
I
kill
just don't remember
Dracula.
how he gets out of the castle.
I don't remember either. I need to reread it. I realized as I was reading this that I don't own a physical copy of Dracula. I listened to an audiobook ages ago. I need to get a copy of Dracula and then maybe I'll reread it. I think it's a pretty quick read.
Yeah, because in the novel, like, he climbs out the window at night and stuff at one point. Because that's how he ends up in the room with the 3 women in the book.
Okay. I mean,
And then, like, a lot of people show up to, like, ship off the crates of dirt.
Right.
Okay.
Which was in this.
Okay, because I was thinking for some reason that the Keanu Reeves surviving was like an invention of the film to keep Keanu Reeves around or something like that.
No, he does survive. And he does make it to the end. He does marry Mina.
Oh, I hope.
Spoilers for a 300-year-old book.
I hope this boy makes it too.
200-year-old.
I mean, based on like the end of volume thing, where he's like in the room, the same room that we keep seeing. This time it's scattered pages of his journal, and there's a little thing on the back wall that says "I'm deceived," and then you turn the page and it's him showing his face, but his face is no longer there. So I would say he might be a ghost. He might be dead.
Chances aren't great, but he could be astral projecting. I feel like that's a thing that could happen in this
Anything
series.
can happen.
Anything can happen here.
Sakamoto's Dracula.
I'm still not entirely sure Mina's not a vampire. There was that whole like double Mina thing for a while. That's weird.
Yep.
If she shows up with cat ears, is that like definite vampire?
Oh shit!
100%.
That's set up. They want to make Mina a cat girl.
This is like Loveless.
Oh,
does she
God.
get ears only if she's a virgin? Or?
Oh, bro, I forgot about that. When you said Loveless, I was
you're
like, what?
laughing here, but I imagine if he does somehow incorporate some, like, because like aren't they all like around the age to be going through puberty? Well, all right. To be fair, he's kind of just taking the sexual panic of Dracula, being like, let's apply this to like 13-year-olds.
Right.
Yep. But yeah,
You know what? Not unlike Chainsaw Man. There you go.
There you go. We connected it
What
all.
is the Riz arc? But like, you know. Oh sure, yeah, sure. Didn't you get a blowjob and all in one stage?
Uh,
Doesn't that happen like in a cinema?
no, like
Or is it a hand job?
she touches his wiener. She goes, she's touching my wiener, but then he freaks out.
Yes.
Okay.
He does not have sex with her because
That boy doesn't get any.
That would be a plot point if it did. Spoilers for
Yes.
Chainsaw Man.
Denji getting laid would end Chainsaw Man. Like there'd be no point anymore to Chainsaw Man if Denji ever succeeded in getting any of his most visceral desires.
It's like fighting
That's
the
it.
One Piece.
Yeah, I was about to say that exact joke.
Except the One Piece is getting his rocks off.
Yeah.
Like
Hey, but you know what? In Dragon Ball, they found the Dragon Balls and they kept on going forever and ever and ever.
that's a different problem.
Okay, we've been gabbing about DRCL for too long. Let's move along. The other title that we're covering for this Twibble Dip is Volume 3 of The Climber. It is
I have
also...
one question, Takazu. Have you read the in-between volume we skipped?
Yes, I will get to that. Now, let me do the introduction first. Climber Volume 3 from Viz, which is a double volume. So this is Volume 5 and 6 of the original series. This manga is done by Shinichi Sakamoto. It is based on a novel Koko no Hito by Jiro Nita. The previous volumes had author credits. They went through 2 different authors. And now, by volume 3, it is Shinichi Sakamoto writing the whole thing.
There can be only one.
This volume 3, the translation was done by John Weary, touch up art and lettering, Jonah Estep, design Yukiko Whitley, and editor Pancha Diaz. Let me go ahead and read the copy for volume 3 of The Climber. Despite the tragedy and notoriety that marked Mori's introduction to climbing, he is still obsessed with the lure of the mountains and determined to keep up with his grueling training plan. Even if his minuscule budget means he needs to get creative. All the creativity in the world doesn't end up being enough to fund an actual expedition, though. So when a rich adventurer offers him a spot on his ambitious K2 climbing team, Mori reluctantly accepts. Suddenly, he's got more new gear than he knows what to do with, and an invitation to an amazing training climb in the Japanese Alps. But Mori's joy at being in the mountains again is tempered by his knowledge that humans are more treacherous than any peak.
Are they though? This is dangerous.
So yeah, when we did our triple dip on with The Climber, Seamus was very much like, this writing is dog shit, and wanted to jump to the part where Shinichi Sakamoto took over the writing credit. I had told him on that episode that yes, it does get better when Shinichi Sakamoto takes over. I covered a couple events that would be happening in volume 2. I will get more specific with that in the spoiler section. But I did want to clarify some things. I made some incorrect statements in the previous episode we did, where I said they never get around to getting into Mori's like tragic backstory. They essentially do, and basically like cover it. They don't give like a full conclusion to it, but they do basically explain what happened with Mori when he shows up in volume 1 and he's a transfer student and people are like, oh, there's a rumor about this kid. They do explain that stuff. So I apologize for making an incorrect statement. Now, we have read volume 3 of The Climber. Let's turn to Seamus first, who wanted to jump ahead. Before I explain stuff that happened in the previous volumes, what did you think of The Climber now that Shinichi Sakamoto has taken over with the writing?
No, it's good.
You liked it?
Yeah, it's like all that like high school and I bullshit. Who cares about that? Let's just like have people do nut shit on the mountain. Let's have an old guy talking about wanking.
I figured Seamus would love that part. I reread that part and I was like, oh yeah, Seamus is probably gonna like this. This fucking old man with no toes talking about, man, I wish I could fucking jerk one out on the top of the mountain.
Reading this volume,
Mm-hmm.
like almost immediately, I was like, oh yeah, nope, this is definitely all Shinichi Sakamoto now, isn't it? Like the tone was just like immediately different.
Morgana, in that first episode that we covered, Climber Volume 1, you made a joke about Shinichi Sakamoto is going to represent the mountain as some kind of like bone or mountain or something. You called it. I kept my mouth shut because I knew
Listen,
it happens. They look at the mountain and it looks like a giant bone.
I'm saying, I know the guy at this point. Read a
Mhm.
lot of his books. Well, we've read, I guess, 2 of his series, which is a lot of books. I know what lives in that man. Actually, no, I don't know because it's absolutely terrifying in there, I suspect. But there's this is his early work. This is where he got started on a lot of this weird. I mean, and it's weird in a Shinichi Sakamoto way, but it's obviously earlier work because I feel like he's being pretty safe with a lot of his imagery and a lot of his. I mean, this is not nearly as mind-bending as Innocent or DRCL. The spreads are gorgeous and the art is wonderful, but it's not like even his command of like anatomy is not as good as it is later. Like I think in Innocent and in DRCL, his understanding of anatomy and drawing the human body has like way progressed. Not to say that this is bad in any way. Like it's really good art, but you're looking at it and going, yeah, this is his early stuff.
His necks are too long.
Yeah, and the shoulders are weird. And like part of that is like they're climbers, so they are more muscular in their shoulders, but like they just don't look quite right. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know. Still better than I could do. So
There's the bit where they introduce the woman at work, and she
Yes.
looks like so weird. She's like dressed up, but I was like, this doesn't really look like a person.
Yeah, no, they're purposely drawing her like a ghoul or something.
Yes,
Hunched over, high shoulders.
that's it. The high shoulders. That's what is kind of like throws the whole thing off. I was gonna say it's like she doesn't have a neck, but yeah.
Yeah, I know what Shinichi Sakamoto is doing with this story, making that woman from work basically seem like something that is going to devour Mori. And
Like a praying mantis eating its mate.
Yep.
About as subtle as a kick to the balls, this man is.
right?
What? It looks good.
Sure
it does look good. It does look good.
Yep.
So that hasn't changed from the climber going out to DRCL. He's still like
there is one later where it's like she's like her arm is the mantis hand or leg, and she's but like her face is human, and she's like, I don't know, chewing on it. I don't know how to describe it.
Oh, she's like cleaning it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be it. Yeah.
I like Mori a lot more now too. I feel like in that first volume, I was like, he kind of sucks and I don't care. All the other characters I kind of hate. But Mori as at least as a protagonist, I'm like, oh, I kind of feel for him. Like he's having some trouble with like social things. That's tough. That's I feel like I can connect with him more than I could in that first volume, which is kind of amazing because I do feel like in Innocent and DRCL, the characters, the protagonists are a little bit not unrelatable, but kind of like otherworldly. They're like not quite like relatable humans. They're more like caricatures, I guess. Mori does feel a little bit more grounded now in this third volume.
Okay, and so you didn't have that many questions about what you missed in the second volume?
I mean,
I have one question. Was he sexually abused by his mother, or am I mixing that up with the other woman?
I will get to that, but first, let's ask Morgana this question, and then let's turn to Dark Fox.
I don't have any specific questions. I mean, obviously he's got some hang-ups around women that I got. I don't know that I needed to, and obviously he's been asked to be part of this expedition. I don't know that I need a whole lot of context. I'm curious, and I would be glad to hear it, but like, it didn't make me feel like I couldn't understand what was going on.
It read fine. Like this could have been the first volume.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, Dar, what did you think of Volume 3 of The Climber?
I don't think... Okay, like, usually serialized manga gets better. If it's a good manga, it usually starts worse than what it ends up being, right? Because...
Yeah, that's usually
it's common sense. Yeah, it's common sense. Like, the manga, they find the stride, and then, like, the editor and mangaka get in sync, and they know what they're cooking with. Like, they figured out what works, and then, like, they probably have feedback from fans now, and then they know where to go. So yeah, it's not that crazy to have like a volume 1 that I like kind of dislike, and then like a volume. You said this is 5 and 6.
Yes.
Yeah, then volume 5, like that's probably where most manga probably hit the super stride, right? However, this just feels the difference between what we read before and this is just crazy. Like it really is crazy. Like this was I read this book and it's a fast read, but I read this book so fast because like just like the art and the paneling, it was just so good, and I really liked all the stuff they were doing with like switching between the perspective when he's having the argument with is it Nima? Is that the guy's name? The one he was trapped with at night, and they're supposed to make it
Yes.
back by dawn. He was having the argument with him. It's like, hey, you know, like why, you know, you need to express your opinions out here. And
Oh, sorry, it's Nimi.
Nimi. Okay. Yeah, and like you need to actually speak up and express your opinions, and it's being kind of like intercut with the interaction he had with the Mantis woman, who was just kind of like inviting herself to like live with him, and it's having parallel like, you know, like very basic, straightforward like symbology, but like it just drawn so well. I was just like really like sucked in, and I just wanted to read more. It was really really good. And I was like, I literally couldn't remember what the first volume was about. I had to like go back to the first volume, and I was like, oh yeah, they climbed the school for no fucking reason.
Right.
And it's just, and I was looking at these characters and like, oh my god, these characters. Like Morgana says, she doesn't like the characters on the mountain, but I think they're, like, I agree, but I think they're like purposefully like off-putting. I think we're seeing them from like, Maurice's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like very like gregarious and outgoing, and they're eager to get into like locker room talk and boys with boy stuff, which is totally not like, that's definitely not like the main character. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. Whereas like other characters in volume 1, there's like, there was blonde guy, and then there was like teacher guy.
Mm-hmm. And then
Like,
there was the girl,
I don't remember the girl.
Yumi.
I don't remember the girl.
She's the one who fell off the mountain and had that accident, and
Oh,
Mori
yeah.
climbed to save her, and that
It's pretty
the
forgettable.
reporter, they become a huge thing at the end of that volume where the reporter reported them. They shut down the club and everything.
Oh, that sounds so boring.
Right? That's the thing is like, yeah, all that happened, and I kind of liked those characters. They were fun, but like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like this is leagues different. Star is right.
It's like, oh, like, oh no, will our hero save the day and save the girl? Or, oh god, is our hero gonna die in this mountain trying to find some sort of like worth in his life because he doesn't feel like like a regular person, and he doesn't fit in anywhere else, and this is the only place he's happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, there's just a lot more stuff. It was very good.
So this is why, Seamus, you think that this is like where the climber got good? This is much better.
Yes, it's like all that high school bullshit is like, who cares?
Even though they had like all those flashbacks for Nima's like background with his father being like a liar, or flashing back in between Mori working at his office dealing with stuff while he's on the mountain.
Yeah, but like Nima is now like, I'm going to try and climb K2. It's like, well, you're nuts. In the sense of like, I don't know, fucking there's that wrestler DRCL and it's like, I'm going up Mount Everest. But actually, K2's worse. K2's actually more dangerous to climb. Which is like that's the thing about K2. It's like a more dangerous mountain than Everest.
Mm-hmm.
So it is just like, you're dealing with a group of people who are like operating outside of like the norms of society, because like we're not all going off climbing K2, which is, I think, is just a more interesting context than like some like high school stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm not in disagreement. I'm just like, yeah.
It's like he's good in he's holding his characters in extreme situations.
Mm-hmm.
Then you like dump in a load of like, I don't know what's the word, like surreal or kind of like metaphorical imagery on top of that, which, yeah, he doesn't have as much of here as he will have in like Innocent or DRCL Children, or at least, well, I don't know, I guess fair. But how many volumes is left in this Stockholm Zoo? Because I imagine as you get towards the end, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot more of it.
I think it's 17 volumes, something like that. Or 20-something. It's not
17.
too long.
Jesus Christ.
Mountains are big. And they gotta climb it step by step.
Yeah, that won't go well. Do
Let me just check. Yeah, 17 volumes total.
you think there'll be cannibalism by the time this is over?
You guys made that joke at the beginning, and I refuse to answer.
The answer is yes.
That
then.
means yes.
Right.
At this point,
Partial cannibalism, like, you know, maybe just take a shoulder, like an arm, just enough to like get to the top.
I'm just glad that you guys all enjoyed this because you were you had a lot of problems with volume 1.
that's just like I think I enjoyed it when I read it. Did I hate on it? I don't think I hated on it.
Not as much as the rest of us did, for sure.
Okay.
Morgana and Seamus for sure did not.
Yeah.
We're not impressed.
Okay. It's just
Besides the art.
It's just night and day. It's just crazy good.
All I can think of is there's what was it? The Battle of Lake Changhang. I'm butchering the name. It was like this Chinese, like Korean war movie, and the first movie there was like 3 directors, and Choi Hark was one of them. And everything I read about that movie, it's not that good. In the second movie, those other 2 people are gone. Now it's only Choi Hark, and that movie's going to be way better.
Choi Hark can't work with anybody.
Choi Hark, how that happened was he was like, "Fuck you, lads, I'm Choi Hark. Get fuck off. I'm going to make this good."
Now, I
That's
don't
what I
know
feel
if
like
that's what
Shinichi
happened
Sakamoto.
here, but
I like to imagine he ran off the other people. Wasn't there like a different person who wrote like the second volume?
there was yes.
What we have is the second volume.
Yes, by the end of the first big collection from Viz, there was a second author already.
I like to think that those authors were like, we cannot keep up with the quality of work that Shinichi Sakamoto is doing, so he should obviously just do it himself, since he far surpasses. I feel bad shitting on these writers. They're fine. I guess I didn't read the second one, but like, they could make some standard shonen manga. That's fine. That's not what we want.
I like to imagine he's being like, "Look at this shit. Do you know what I'd be doing?" And eventually they're like, "All right, then do it." And he's like, "There you go." And they're like, "All right, yeah, fine. Yeah, you were right. Do whatever you want."
Okay, is this now the time where I give spoilers about what happened between these volumes 1 and 3?
Do it.
Does anything anything that really matters in terms of ongoing future plot?
There is one big thing. But yeah, I will leave a spoiler tag in our show notes, so if you don't want to be spoiled on the contents of volume 2 from Viz.
A spoiler tag for the second volume.
Yeah. Pretty fast, yeah.
Just in case people want to read, on their own. But yeah, it will be in the show notes. Use this to skip. So basically, at the end of volume 1, we had that entire thing where, the girl Yumi, she fell off the mountain, got in an accident. Mori went to save her, even though he didn't have the proper gear. That got called out by that asshole reporter. That got reported. The club gets shut down. It's all Mori's fault. The girl's scholarship to college gets canceled. Just bad shit all around. And so Mori ends up getting invited by the reporter to go by a mountain. To just go, clear his head. What happens is, he wanders off in the evening, and then sudden blizzard comes in. He gets lost. His teacher and the asshole reporter end up chasing after him on the mountain to save him. And then there's this big melodrama between the teacher and the reporter. They used to be hiking buddies. But what happened on one of their expeditions is a girl that they both liked died. And during that, when the teacher checked the corpse, he saw that the rope had been cut. And then the asshole reporter is basically like, I couldn't have that bitch weighing me down. And so they have bad blood. And the reporter was, it was a accident, so there was no charge, but everyone hates him. And then while they're chasing after Mori, who is now climbing up the mountain by himself in jeans, because he is
In a blizzard?
In a blizzard, because he's freezing and he isn't thinking straight. He's just like, I just gotta go up. So the teacher and the reporter are climbing up after him. And what happens the teacher slips. He's hanging on a rope. He's like, oh shit, the reporter's gonna cut my rope. And no, the reporter doesn't cut his rope. It turns out when that accident happened, it was the girl who cut her own rope. So she wouldn't, like, the reporter wouldn't die. Because they were in love and they were gonna get married. So then the truth is revealed. It's like melodrama about the reporter and the teacher. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm glad we skipped that.
And then
I had to
before
turn
they
my
get
cam
to the...
on just to show my face. Like, what the fuck? What is?
So Mori gets to the top, and then an accident happens, and the teacher ends up dying anyway.
Oh my Christ.
So then, yeah. So now Mori, not only has he, wandered off into the mountain, but he got his teacher killed. So he is completely ostracized at school. And he, even though what he did got his teacher killed, he is like, I love climbing. And this is where you learn more about his backstory. That he was on a roof with his friend, and his friend jumped off, and like that's why people are like, oh, did he push him off the roof? Turns out that friend is alive, but in a coma. And so after this all happens on the mountain, Mori goes to visit his friend in a coma and says, I'm sorry, but I found something that I'm in love with, so I'm not going to stick around anymore. And then it time skips to the current Mori in Volume 3, where he is working. He has dropped out of high school. He works for a company that does, I believe they do deliveries. And during his break times, he chills out in like the company freezer, kind of self-training, like he's on like K2. He gets an offer by the asshole reporter to come join this team. Initially, he is like, nah, I don't want to do it. I will pave my own way. I know now how much money I have to make. I can make it in 2 years. And that's when he runs into Yumi, the girl from high school. She didn't get her college scholarship, so now she works at a brothel. And so she sneaks her way into Mori's room because it's raining. And then she's like, you know what I do for a living now, right? And so she, like, gives him a blowjob. But that is why he is afraid of women at the beginning of Volume 3. Because he's like, I feel like there's, like, some kind of monster on me. And, of course, Shinichi Sakamoto draws him in his room, Mori in his room, and his bottom half is, like, this giant fleshy mass. That's a monster that's representing Yumi, who's now become, like, a prostitute, sex worker. And yeah, Mori tries to get away, and while he does that, Yumi robs him. And that takes us to the beginning of Volume 3. That is why he is afraid of women, Seamus. It's not his mom, it was Yumi. Which is like, I
Wait,
kind of...
so the bit where he's like, Mori, I'm sorry, was that Yumi?
Where is the Mori, I'm sorry?
Oh, there's like one panel. Because like from his point of view, and she's on top of him. I'd have to like get it now.
Oh no, that's Nimi flashing back to his girlfriend, I think, on the mountain. He's saying to her that he's sorry because he's gonna die.
Yes.
Oh, Momo, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm getting out. Yes, you're right. Yeah, reading it now again, it's like, okay, yeah. I was
Unfortunately,
getting all confused.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
what did I say last?
You said, unfortunately.
Well, I was saying, unfortunately, Morgana, the women representation in The Climber, not great.
Not great.
And they're basically like there to be like, we're gonna get you, Mori. We're gonna eat you up.
Yeah.
Just like Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
I like you, man.
Yeah, at least, well, I was gonna say, at least those women are interesting.
Kind of makes it even more interesting that he goes on and makes like innocent and DRCL children, given women are way more prominent focal characters.
Shinichi Sakamoto, he was like, I had enough drawing dudes, beautiful dudes. Time to draw some like cool, nice women.
He
Like Marie.
hasn't had enough time drawing beautiful dudes. He continues to draw beautiful dudes. It remains completely baffling to me from that Manben episode how absolutely normal he seems, because he is not afraid to screw around with gender or sex or sexuality, or I mean
You're
I would
surprised that he was married.
yeah, well I'm just like, his work is kind of transgressive in a weird way. And he just seems so normal. Like, very talented and interesting, but like just kind of a guy. It's wild. Absolutely wild to me.
Yeah, so you guys basically didn't miss much in Volume 2, besides the fact that his teacher dies. He gets ostracized from school, and then he has that run-in with Yumi, who is now...
What about that guy he met in the roof doing the climbing thing? Does that guy ever show up again?
His rival or the random one after the tournament?
The blonde one.
The random one?
Okay, the random one who was like, I'm a climber too, and he looks just like his coma friend, right?
Yep.
He will show up, but I will not give details. Also, the rival quit school as well, and he will show up later as well. And I think he is... when he shows back up, it's very interesting what Shinichi Sakamoto does.
He has cat ears.
Spoilers, Dar.
Yeah, I do feel like the climber, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, maybe he's like planting some seeds for what his work will become later. You know what I mean? Because this was his kind of big break, right? Before this, he had another manga, but it was like some like muscle dude shonen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, this is very different. I feel like this is kind of the beginning of his trajectory into mind fuckery.
Yeah, I don't think Volume 1 had any surreal imagery, like when Mori, sneaks out of the camp
No.
before dawn, and he's walking on stars and riding on a horse.
Yeah.
Like that's peak Shinichi Sakamoto to us after reading Innocent.
He's done a few like riding on a horse through the sky images actually in all of his books, I feel. I think there was one in DRCL at some point.
He's also done a few getting sucked off by a monster imagery.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes that one too.
I remember Volume 1, they had that visualization of the path that you take to the wall, and it was like stars and lines, and that was like kind of fun.
But that's nothing compared to like the mountain in the morning looking like a fucking bone sticking out of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seamus is totally right. This is way better.
It's like night and day, y'all. I opened, and I read Climber first, and then I read DRCL, and I was like, okay, time to get in Shinichi Sakamoto mode. And this is like, I opened it and it's like, wow, yeah, this is definitely him. But even then, I'm like, but this is like Shinichi Sakamoto with training wheels. You know what I mean? Like, we don't. And then reading DRCL, and you're like, oh no, this is Shinichi Sakamoto, like full-throated, no holds barred.
It's good stuff. I'm glad to hear that everyone liked Volume 3 of DRCL. I mean, like, The Climber, sorry. Yeah, Dar, do you have anything else you want to mention?
Yeah, I don't love the whole, like, she's a damaged prostitute now kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Like, I don't mind like dismantling her character, and she's in hard times, and she betrays him in some way. But it sounds, just hearing from what you say, I could envision it, and I could picture it's like this is a tainted woman, like, and she's like poisonous now or something, or like it just
And-
sounds bad.
it's like a huge turn. Like it didn't have to be that extreme, but
Yeah, not to shame sex work, but there are a lot of things you can do if you don't finish high school. There are other jobs. You do not have to sell your body. That I mean, and maybe I'm oversimplifying the rigors of, I don't know, not having your diploma or whatever, but like I know
yeah,
she didn't go to college. She finished high school. So she has
Yeah.
a high school diploma.
when she shows back up, it sounds like she's in debt too. Like she owes money.
So she made some mistakes. Okay, fine. And you know what? If she wants to be a sex worker, fine. I don't
I
inherently
think it's
have a problem
highly
with that.
implied it's that because of what happened in high school with Mori, she lost her scholarship, so she kind of blames him.
So she got into sex work because of Mori, who hasn't seen her in years.
Yeah, but it was the incident that happened. in the
Yeah, I
earlier volume.
don't.
Like it's like
That's weak. That's weak.
So that was still with the other writers, right?
No, I believe that choice is Shinichi Sakamoto's choice.
Okay, because like the whole stuff with like the teacher and that stuff sounds like really weird too. But whatever, I guess it's drama. I guess
That's the other writer. Yeah.
I guess we keep the page turning, but it's that stuff sounds kind of whack. Just put the man on the mountain and have him freaking out. That's what I feel.
Put
I
the
kinda
man
feel
on the
like-
mountain.
Yumi turning into like a sex worker is then he was like, I'm gonna lead into this run-in Mori has with his office worker and this other woman also trying to latch onto him, which makes him afraid of women for the point of my story.
I kind of like the office the praying mantis lady. like not that I want him to like hook up or anything, but like I don't know. I don't see her as like a bad character yet. At least I don't know. She was like fucking the boss, but like whatever.
She's a little pushy, but I think what I liked about her is that like if Mori could get over himself, I feel like they have a lot in common. She's also a little
Which
bit
she brings up. Mhm.
yeah. They're both kind of oddballs. But yeah, that I was real anxious when she kept talking and talking and talking to him, and he just wanted to say no and like couldn't. I was like, dude, just open your mouth. Oh my god, just say no. Oh my god.
But
Yeah,
Well,
but-
then he
put
pulls
the
out
X
the
up.
remote and pauses the scene. Sorry, Garg.
No. Go ahead.
I thought that was
won't say
pretty
anything.
unique.
Yeah. He goes pause and then he starts rapping.
But like manga wise, it really works because, like Darfox brought up, she's represented like walking behind him on the mountain, and that's also him. Or when he's like holding out in that little hut, it feels like he's holding out in his own room, trying to get away from her.
Yeah, because she fell down the stairs. That happened literally, right? She fell down the stairs and he just closed the door on her, like, sweet. Chansu! And he just closed the fucking door.
Yep.
That was kind of awesome. I mean, obviously she might have got hurt, but
He's not good at social shit.
no.
Like to a degree where I'm like, "Oh honey, like I think maybe you need therapy." But like what Shinichi Sakamoto character doesn't need therapy, frankly?
I think
He would rather climb K2 than go to therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Right, because he would have to talk to somebody if he went to therapy.
I think
I mean-
adults in his life should have caught him early when his friend fell off the fucking building or whatever the fuck happened.
There was an adult
Seriously.
who tried to catch him, and that was his teacher. But then, yeah, the accident happened. So
Okay, there's more than one adult in the world though. Like it's
all the other adults don't like. All the other teachers are like, "Thank God we got rid of that trouble student that's causing all this drama at our school."
Okay.
It's just like he's really had a rough hand. Like
He's
this-
Yusuke, but he climbs mountains.
right? He has like and he's like gone in the opposite direction, like personality wise. Instead of becoming like mouthy and like getting into fights, he's like shut down completely and wants to be all alone.
It's part of the title too, though. Koko no hito. I think I said last time it means like alone, by yourself. Further pushing this character Mori into like someone who needs to be by himself. A true loner. There's a lot of imagery of him. What was it? Like he's doing the training with the other guys and they're in the tent and then it flashes. He's like that uncomfortable with it. I feel like that's the drive that he's going for. Shinichi Sakamoto with this Mori character. We've been going for a while, but is there anything else you guys want to mention about The Climber Volume 3? We haven't really talked about the other climbers on his team, but...
They kind of suck.
They're weird.
know. Yeah.
Oh, one slight criticism I would do. I don't know if this was just me, but when one of the guys was injured, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have to cancel this thing or whatever," right?
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, they were like, "Oh, it was Nimi's fault." I was like, "Wait, was it?" And I had to go back and reread it. It was really confusing, like panel wise, like what it was depicting. I don't know what happened there. Like, is it just me, or was that just like confusing? Like, how did Nimi fuck that up and get the guy hurt? Like,
I think the whatever way he fell down, he like injured the other guy.
Yeah, he wasn't being careful about his steps and he misstepped and slipped back and his axe hit the other guy in the head.
oh, okay.
His pickaxe, yeah.
For some
the
reason, I couldn't get that.
When you see them climbing that first area, there's one panel where they're climbing in a zigzag pattern, which is like why when he fell, he hit the other guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was right after they told Mori to take the lead, and he started the zigzag, right? I think. And then they're switching off. Okay.
No, Mori was taking the lead, and then of course Niimi was like, "I got to do this because I'm definitely going." And that's when he slips up and trips on his own
Okay.
foot. Yeah. But then the next chapter starts with like a hospital scene with that other guy on the team who's like, I don't know if you all caught it, but he says he says his name is one thing, but his actual like name on his like medical bag said Murata. So that guy clearly has something going on as well. There's something in his past where he's claiming to be somebody else.
Wow, dramatic.
Which we will probably learn about if we keep reading The Climber. Yeah, is there anything else in The Climber that we didn't mention for Volume 3? If not, yeah, Seamus. You like Volume 3 of The Climber. You said it got good. Would you keep reading The Climber?
Yes.
What about you, Morgana?
Yeah.
Okay, and you, Dar?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, then it's officially added to our Twiffle Dip lineup. We will definitely be checking out the next collection of The Climber when we do another Twiffle Dip episode. I think it goes without saying that we are all good on continuing to read #DRCL.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, then I guess we'll end with What did you enjoy more, The Climber or hashtag DRCL? This is kind of tough.
Is it?
Oh, is it
Is
just
it?
DRCL for you, Morgana? 'Cause
Yeah. I mean, again, this volume of The Climber was way better, but baseline, the kind of book I'm going to be more interested in anyway is DRCL, and it is his more recent work, and is obviously a much more polished work.
Fair. Also, it has cat ears Dracula, so
You can't beat Cat Ears Dracula. If I'm not saying what the actual fuck at least once in a Shinichi Sakamoto book, what is the point? That's how the way I see it.
Oh, you didn't say it for The Climber Volume 3?
Nah, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. What about you, Dar? You have a favorite between the two?
I think that the novelty of enjoying The Climber so much makes you want to say The Climber. But I think overall, like DRCL is a better book, but it's just like better, more refined Shinichi Sakamoto. You know,
Yeah.
it is them firing on cylinders. But like I cannot over express just how much I enjoyed this volume compared to the first volume we read.
Nice. And you, Seamus?
Yeah, I think I'll go. Yeah, no, DRCL Children. Yeah, the whole thing where that bit about the woman and her baby getting like robbed. I think in the novel is literally just like mentioned offhand, just being like, "I'm gonna make it my own thing, and her head is going to be on fire."
Yeah, all while Nisun Dorma is like being the lyrics to Nisun Dorma in the background. Good stuff. Yeah, I'll
And
agree
also,
with
like,
all of you.
Dracula's a cat girl now, so like, it's like he's appealing to my fetish.
There you go.
Was there like
All
a
of
cat
our
woman in one of the
fetishes.
Final Fantasy games?
Was there a
Like,
cat
here.
woman in one?
Like the
surely.
last one on the PS2.
In
It
12,
was like
yes.
kind of it.
But they were also
Oh no,
were they
she was
rabbit
bunny
people?
girl. Yeah. She like she Amazon-esque bunny girl. They're like 7 feet, 8 feet tall.
Oh, so they got the furries and those like the big girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Doctor Joel, I saw it like in a comic book short, just killing some time. Volume 1 of Sanda. I didn't read it though. I did flip through it and I was like, yep,
Speaking of
it's a big
furries,
buff Santa Claus looking guy, alright, yep.
Yep. We may cover that in the future, but probably not till next year. But yeah, we've been talking for a long while. Let us end this episode. I want to thank Darfox, Morgana, and Seamus for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed Manga Machinations, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you can find us. Rate us a review, rate us. Check out our website, mangamachinations.com. Our Tumblr is mangamachinations.tumblr.com. Come join our Discord server. Head over to discord.me/mangamac. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, youtube.com/mangamactv. We also have Mangamac Watches and Nakayoshi Gaming, where Darfox is playing Silent Hill F. If you want to financially support us, buy us a coffee. Head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac. You can send us emails over to mangamachinations@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at Mangamac Podcast. That's Manga MXC Podcast. We're mostly on Blue Sky, but we also have Instagram and Twitter and everything else. Or you can follow our personal social media. Follow me at Dakazu, follow Darfox at Darfox8, follow Morgana at Morgana Relina, and follow Seamus at Seamus2389. Remember, Seamus is spelled without an H. Alright everyone, thank you so much for joining us this week. Bye bye!